swap tires from front to back. They have to keep them on the same size of the cars. They cannot put on any new tires. The only time they can replace tires is if they have a flat, and that must be confirmed by Modified Racing Series officials. Alan, we are set to go for 75 laps. By the grace of God, in 600 horsepower, it's ground pounder time here at Oxford Plains Speedway. Green is in the air.
Thank you, Connor. That just doesn't sound so good whenever it comes from me. As the field works down the back straightaway, Donnie Lashua in the 17 trying to inch out ahead of Joey Jarvis here. I think this is going to be a really good race.
Yep, and you've got so much of an unknown with these guys hanging out back. I think they're going to be saving their tires now, but tell you what, Donnie Lashua and Joey Jarvis are not pulling any punches right now when it comes to saving their rubber, as Jarvis is going to take the lead from the outside.
Joey Jarvis, driver from Ascutney, Vermont. We look a little bit further back in the field. 2-car working up to the outside there.
That's Anthony Bello.
Yep.
Just celebrated his first career SK Modified win down at Stafford Speedway a couple of weeks ago. Definitely doing wonders for the old confidence there, but he's fallen back into the clutches of Jacob Perry, who's looking to break into victory lane here.
Jacob Perry in that car number 47, 3 wins in 2021. He ended up finishing second in the standings.
Yep, and so far winless in 2022. But again, MRS, bit of a revamp this year, smaller schedule, but a great variety of tracks, including, again, tracks that you don't see tour-type modifieds at normally, and this includes Oxford Plains Speedway, as we see Mike Collins power move on the outside, gets O'Connell, and he's going to get Tony Rickey here, so move Mike Collins up into the 4th position, as he'll look to chase after Mark Buckeye.
And, you know, it goes back to what we talked about last year with, you know, that car number 04 of Stu McCormick. Some of these drivers know that they are at a disadvantage with equipment and maybe with engines. Why not just go out there and have some fun, lead some laps? I think that might be right now what we're seeing from Mike Collins. You'll see the guys that we expect to come forward later in the race, but Mike Collins right now, that car running well. He's worked his way up into 3rd, now up on the outside. That's the 27, I believe, of Derek Roby.
Yep, as Perry trying to tick him off one by one on the inside as he gets alongside Devin O'Connell. Meanwhile, battle is on for 2nd position as Mike Collins, he's sticking to that outside line as he looks to take on Donnie Lashua. As they come back now, they'll complete 10 laps this time by. Still Joey Jarvis out in front as Collins gets the edge at the line. And he's going to have the position coming off turn 2 as we see O'Connell now making some ground up on the outside. Ooh, a big dive 3 wide. Anthony Bello, Tony Rickey, and O'Connell. And O'Connell's going to wash up and lose all the ground he made up.
That's from 5th on back. Anthony Bello in the 2 machine. Tony Rickey in the 20, and that was a pretty aggressive move by Bello. It worked for him, as now the battle back behind those two for 7th between the 43 of Devin O'Connell and the 47 of Jacob Perry, who continues to move up just a little bit at a time.
Yep, as we focus now, Collins, wow, it's not taking him long to run down Joey Jarvis, so it's a battle of the 04X and the 02 out there. Of course, Joey Jarvis, 2nd-generation driver. His dad, Dwight Jarvis, was actually in competition just a couple of weeks ago during the Honoring Racers 100 at Claremont Motorsports Park. So it was good to see him back in action. He makes rare appearances nowadays, but Joey Jarvis giving everything against Mike Collins, and I think he's decided to turn up the wick just a little bit now as we are 15 laps into this 75-lap feature.
And again, you're getting into that strategy play now where Joey Jarvis and Mike Collins are going hard here early, but then you got Matt Swanson back there just in front of the leaders, not very far in front of the leaders, as a matter of fact, less than a straightaway. He and Rusty Poland are. And at some point, to stay on the lead lap, those guys are going to have to maybe go a little bit harder than they'd like to.
I think they're waiting until the last possible moment here. And, of course, the big wild card, though, is where and when and / if the cautions will fall throughout this one. As we look back now, this is the battle for the 6th position as Tony Ricky trying to hold off Jacob Perry as Anthony Bellows puts a little bit of a gap on these two. And we see Kirk Alexander trying to move up from the 8th position. Alexander, again, he celebrated the win at White Mountain Motorsports Park to in the 2nd race of the season for the Modified Racing Series, his first trip to victory lane in 12 years.
And that car at number 47, we've been watching, a Jacob Perry. He's a team car, as you mentioned earlier today, Connor, to the leader or 3rd place, Donnie Lashua.
Yep, of course, both those cars out of the shop of series founder Jack Bateman. So those cars giving a good run as Devin O'Connell's fallen all the way back. Now outside of the top 10, trying to get back by Andy Shaw is O'Connell making the dive under Shaw. Shaw trying to pinch him down. O'Connell up on the curbs, but he keeps his foot in it. And he's going to pull ahead and take over the position that's going to be for 11th from Andy Shaw. O'Connell, of course, he went down your way a couple of weeks ago, Alan, down to North Wilkesboro Speedway. Actually had a fairly good run, especially on the Tuesday night event.
Yeah, he did a good job down there with the tour-type modifieds. Your leader continues to be Joey Jarvis. Remember, you can keep up with where your favorite driver is running at with the ticker up at the top of the screen. Mike Collins back in 2nd. And I think Mike Collins, once he got up to 2nd, I think he backed off a little bit, and I think that's a smart move because that may allow him to have something here a little bit later on, but actually allowing Donnie Lashua to close up on him a little bit right now as we watch this battle here. Here comes the 92 machine of Anthony Nocella. He's making his way up towards the front, moving up now into the 14th spot around Ryan Doucette now. Makes a move around the 81 of David Arute.
Yep, David Arute making the trip up here for the 2nd straight year is actually driving Todd Owens' open modified that he normally runs down in the southern half of New England. And Arute, he's had a career year at his home track, Stafford Speedway, 3 wins in the SK Modifieds.
There's the leader, Joey Jarvis, right now. His lead over Mike Collins, little less than a second.
Yeah, but I think everybody's just buying their time right now as continue to click the laps off. But yeah, that's good. The big question is who's going to make the first mistake and bring out that first caution as we take a look at Rusty Poland, as both he and Swanson have kind of turned up the wick a little bit themselves now as they've been able to stabilize the gap over Joey Jarvis. As this is the battle for the 19th position as Poland pulls ahead of the 98 car, Stephen Dickey.
You know, and you go back to that strategy of tire conservation and trying to lay back a little bit. If the cautions don't fall your way or at all, that could be a very bad strategy. So we have to see how it all plays out right now as the leaders continue to work through a little bit of lap traffic.
And we've seen the best of the best do this. I've seen Matt Hirschman do a couple of times where he'll just fall to the back. Yeah, he'll just fall to the back, even be in danger of going a lap down, it seems like. But then you get those mid-race yellows, and he'll be right back in the thick of things before you know it. Of course, it's usually in series where they have the pit strategy involved. Again, no such strategy here tonight. You got what you got for the most part. And again, unless you want to switch those tires around from front to rear. But even so, probably not going to see that unless you're in the back of the field and struggling in this one. As Perry continuing to work on Tony Ricky for the 6th position, but everyone pretty much in lockstep at this point. As again, it's Jarvis, Collins, Lashua, the top 3 right now, and we see Buckeye up in the 4th position. As we look on back, Anthony Nocella making the move on Carl Medeiros. This is for the 12th position. As Nocella not taking any chances. I think he's thinking, what if it does stay green for the majority of this race, as we have completed now 35 laps, 40 to go.
There you see the leaders again, about 6-7 tenths the lead for Joey Jarvis over Mike Collins, and that's really the way it's been for the last 20 laps or so. Collins just kind of maintaining that distance back behind Jarvis.
We saw Bill Dixon a lap ago pulling off the track, as Jarvis will get the signal for halfway this time by. Meanwhile, things are starting to heat up for fourth position. Anthony Bello is going on the offensive. He looks inside of Mark Buckeye. This is the battle for the fourth position, as Buckeye is struggling a little bit outside. Tony Ricky's going to follow Anthony Bello past, and as expected, Jacob Perry does the same, but Buckeye's able to shut the door on Kirk Alexander.
Anthony Bello there in that 2-car back in the fourth spot now. Tony Ricky in the 2, and now the battle there between the 76 of Kirk Alexander and the 50 of Maderos. Kirk Alexander, the all-time wins leader here in the MRS, 3-time MRS champion, 32 career wins, and he's worked that 76 car up to 7th now.
So a bit of a gap now as Bello sets his sights on the 17 of Donnie Lashua, but Perry, as we see Nocella continuing to make gains, as he blows past the 43 of Devin O'Connell. Nocella giving that 92 Massachusetts a good run, Alan. Here is, I think he's anticipating a green flag run here for the most part, but will he have the laps? Will he have the time? I still think he's probably going to need a yellow sometime through. As
right now he's 7.5 seconds back behind the leader.
Bit of a close moment there with the 52 of Buckeye. So Mark Buckeye, after a promising start, he's now slipped out of the top 10, as Nocella trying to make quick work of Derek Roby in the 27. Roby pinching him just a little bit, but thinks better of it, leaves him a little bit of room.
Well, it's cost Anthony Nocella a little bit of time. He stayed about 7.5 seconds behind the leader the last couple of laps there back behind Roby, as we watch this battle here for the 5th spot. Tony Ricky in the 20 now, feeling some pressure here for the 47 of Jacob Perry, trying to take 5th away.
Yeah, Perry, I think he kind of senses the urgency at this point. He's got less than half the race to go. Ricky, of course, won the last ever Modified Racing Series race at Beechridge Motor Speedway about a year ago. And Perry immediately going past the 2 of Anthony Bello.
Look at Kirk Alexander, too, in that 76. And then just coming into the frame, the 92 of Anthony Nocella. Back in 8th now. He took 2 seconds off the leader's advantage.
They flipped the switch, yep. Alan. As Ricky's struggling in that Sarnecki Brothers number 20. Of course, Modified fans will know the Sarnecki Brothers, actually a Connecticut-based team out of the city of New Britain. They've done a lot of work in the past with drivers such as Doug Kobe, but they've partnered up with Ricky for the occasional race up here in the state of Maine, as Nocella immediately going to work, trying to get by Kirk Alexander, but Alexander denying him the bottom. Nocella says, that's okay, I'll just go up high, as, a bit of a bobble from Alexander's. Ricky is going to, nope, looks like Alexander is going to be able to shut the door here, as Nocella almost about a second better than what Joey Jarvis, the leader of the race, is being able to put out here. 24 laps to go.
Well, there you see Jacob Perry able to get around Donnie Lashua, and the caution is out.
Oh, boy.
Problem over in turn 4.
Well, we were wondering who would slip up first, and the answer is Ryan Doucette. But what a run, though, as we were able to get a 50-lap run here. So, what a move by Jacob Perry, as he's going to have 2 cars. Contact,
whoa!
And Nocella's around.
Big problems here on the front straightaway. several cars collected. Anthony Bello in the 2 car. There you see Mike Collins in the 02, the 81 of David Arute, 27 of Ian Orelli, Stephen Dickey, and a flat left rear tire there on Anthony Nocella's car.
They're going to have to put on a practice tire. That
Shaw's still up there in that 66 too.
and he took a big hit when he got into Nocella. As come down for the restart, green flag. Big.
Good start.
What?
Yep, good start for Jacob Perry. And Jarvis going to try and crowd him a little bit out of turn number 2. Can't do it. Are we going to complete this lap is what Jacob Perry's saying right now.
Perry, he said that this one got away from him a year ago. He had the fastest car in the late laps. He was running down Anthony Nocella late last year, and now he's in the capper seats. But does anybody else have anything for him? As we still got 18 laps to go, still plenty of action to go. As
Donnie Lashwell's got his hands full right now, trying to hold off Matt Swanson there in the 25. Just a lap ago, he was sideways, and whoa, now he's going to go off on the back straightaway. He just absolutely had no rear grip, and it all about 20 laps ago, and right now he's up trying to take third.
Yeah, has Dickey been saving his tires? I think so. We'll have to see what kind of speed he has, although we see Perry's kind of running away right now. I think Alexander might be bottling these guys up. Here comes Swanson 3 wide.
Yep. That's the guy
I
think
and Rusty
to watch.
Poland, he couldn't let it. He was not passing up that opportunity and almost had another spin there, but was able to come out on top. Meanwhile, we see Nocella trying to pick his way back through as he moves past Devin O'Connell. That's going to be for the 10th position. So Anthony Nocella, we'll see where he cycles in this time around. Yep, Anthony Nocella back into the top 10. We still got 15 laps to go, but Jacob Perry's flying. Here comes Matt Swanson, though, in that Gary Casella number 25.
Boy, is Matt Swanson going to make me look like a genius. We'll see.
Hey, I'm the modified expert here. I thought I was.
I don't know.
But
Rusty Poland able to get around Kirk Alexander there, so that's another one that you called.
I name dropped Rusty Poland, but then again, I did name drop Kirk Alexander, though. But yeah, I'm surprised. Tires are going away as we see Nocella continuing to pick at it as he'll go to the outside of Joey Jarvis. And
it's the same thing. There's no rear grip from those cars that charged early. And now Jarvis has dropped all the way back to 8th as we watch this race here. Kirk Alexander in the 76 in 4th. Stephen Dickey trying to work around him.
Yeah, Dickey's got something, but it's nothing compared to Nocella. Nocella, they've just brought another Supreme car to the racetrack, and again, he's got an older left rear tire, but again, it's those right sides where it's going to pay off. As Tony Rickey is thrown off the track, still no yellow flag. We're going to wait for it now. Wow, Swanson's going to work, though. Maybe he was holding something back, and Rusty Poland keeping them both in his sights.
Swanson's looking good right now, and I think that Jacob Perry might have actually held the brake there coming out of turn number 2 to stay down on the bottom. He is going to do everything possible not to let anybody get to the inside of him, and right now Matt Swanson is wearing that bumper out.
Nocella, this is the battle for 5th position as he goes to the outside of Kirk Alexander, and immediately he's going after Steve Dickey. Giving that 98 car, though, a good run up in 4th position. He's got a shot at top 5 here, Al.
Top 5. I still think he's got a shot at the win here. And if Jacob Perry is content to try and protect that bottom as hard as he is and ride that brake, that's just going to allow Nocella, as you see him go up into 4th, to go right up there and go around the outside of these guys.
Going to be 6 to go. Will it be enough if it stays under green for Anthony Nocella? We're going to find out. Boy, he is tearing into that gap to Rusty Poland.
Well, Jacob Perry, I don't know if he might have had a little bit of trash on his tires because he's picked it up now, and he's been able to open up, a couple of car lengths here on Matt Swanson.
Boy, Nocella really clicking off the laps. He was
2/10 quicker than Jacob Perry that last lap.
Boy, does he have time. He's going to have to be very precise with these passes. 4 to go. Here he goes to the outside of Rusty Poland, looking to get back into the top 3.
This is the problem he's got, is these are the best cars out there, all 4 of them. It's going to be hard to pass cars of this quality up on the outside now, 3 laps to go. Unless they get bottled up in front. And again, Swanson able to put a bumper to Jacob Perry. Unless they get bottled up, I don't think Nocella's going to have enough time now.
Yeah, Poland's giving a lot of trouble. Swanson, though, he is doing everything possible. I think it's going to be a 2-car show unless these two get into it here.
He's going to have to spin him to win it.
It's not Swanson's way, though, but heck, we'll see, though, as they come back to the white flag. Swanson turning up the aggression, 1 to go.
All right, maybe he's trying to trick him here. He stayed in line all that time. It's the first time he's looked to the outside. Now down the back straightaway. He's not going to try to get a bumper in, but he might try to turn down the inside of him. Jacob Perry out of turn number 4. Swanson up on the curve. Checkered flag is out, and Jacob Perry will take the win over Matt Swanson. Rusty Poland barely able to hold off Anthony Nocella. And again, we talked about Stephen Dickey. He ends up in 5th.
Forget throwing the kitchen sink at Jacob Perry. That was, I think, the sink in the basement in the garage